Coming up, an NFL matchup that only happened 15 times since their first clash in 1972. Get ready for the latest chapter of the Bears and Raiders, next on EA Sports.
NFL football has come to Southern Nevada as we are in the menacing new Allegiant Stadium here in Las Vegas. The atmosphere here electric. No matter the venue, the home folks love their silver and black. They are fired up as their Raiders get set to face off with the Chicago Bears. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gunn. And Charles, we look at the Raiders here entering play. They were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Bears, they're hitting their stride of late. Winners of 3 of their last 4.
And how about that defense last week? They pitched a shutout, and it was really more like a no-hitter because they absolutely dominated that game from the opening whistle.
Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports. And they will elect to not bring this one out as our first drive will begin at the 25. The Raiders getting ready to go to work for the first time, and they're led by their quarterback in his 8th season now in silver and black, Derek Carr.
And he ought to have a lot of pep in his step after last week's performance because he did exactly as you want him to play if you're a coach. 3 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, which usually means you're making a lot of right decisions out there.
And got him the win. First carry for Josh Jacobs. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. A check on Jacobs from a week ago. 23 carries, 95 yards, and a score.
And he's hoping to have the same type of game, but he's going up against the #1 defense in the league, and they're very good at fitting the run. So now you've got to think offensive strategy, maybe a little more play action, and try and find some people up and downfield.
And this is going to be a Raiders first down as he's got this up to the 40-yard line.
And there's a typical run by Josh Jacobs, one where as a defender, you have to make a decision about how you approach him because he's awfully physical with the ball in his hands. 12 touchdowns on the ground last year after 7 as a...
And now the ball's out. Carr lost it. Fumble. And this is picked up by the Bears. And his guys will take over at the 25-yard line. The Bears offense ready to go to work here for the first time, leading them out, the 11th overall pick of the 2021 draft. Justin Fields out of Ohio State.
And he's been playing at an elite level here in this early half of the season. Tops in the league in touchdown passes at this point. This is definitely a wide-open offense, so we'll see if he can keep his string of good games going right here.
This is caught. Touchdown. Allen Robinson. His 9th touchdown of the season. And the Bears are on the board first here in Vegas.
If you didn't know it, it won't surprise you to find out that this team leads the league in scoring. They've been a quick strike team all season long. There's another example. They did it again. This offensive coordinator, right now he can write his ticket towards being a head coach. He's advanced in the ways of offense.
Santos with the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25. Second drive of the game coming up for this Las Vegas offense. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. That can be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
Well, they're out there. We'll see if they can pick those things back up. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. From the gun, it's Carr. And trying to get it to Ruggs, but it's intercepted. Eddie Jackson picks it. And they will finally put it into the return, but not until he takes it back all the way inside the 10-yard line. So a first interception thrown for him there, and that really not the best decision either.
Not at all, and that's something he did not do in their victory last week. No interceptions in that game, but this defense, they're able to take advantage of an early mistake. Now let's see if they're going to turn it into points.
Chicago works their way back onto the field here for their second drive of the game. And they start in the best of all positions. First and goal. Suddenly it's first and goal after the interception. A quick change in the situation here. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. The numbers on the ground for Montgomery in last week's affair. He hit pay dirt so many times we almost lost track. Every time we turned around, he was in the end zone.
And those weren't all just one-yard plunges either, partner. I mean, he ripped off a few long jaunts as well.
They try again with Montgomery. And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown. David Montgomery, touchdown number 15 of the year. And the Bears lead this now 13-0 here in the opening quarter of the ball game.
The full team is involved in this game early, aren't they? Go down the field, score on offense, take the ball away on defense, and go right back and score again. You got to like the way that's working for them.
That's exactly right. Touchdown, turnover, touchdown, 2-score lead. A little bit like you at breakfast this morning. I got to get this in. You had a perfect omelet, dropped it, so a little bit of a turnover. You went right back, though, and got that omelet and crushed it.
You got to do what you got to do, man. You got to do what you got to do.
A little worried about your hands, though.
Yeah. Well.
And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line. Here's Las Vegas ready to take the field. And they're in an early hole. The first drive, they threw the interception. That led to a touchdown, so decent-sized deficit early on.
It is, but I think you hit the key words, early on. So they have to decide, do we even need to change game plan? Or do we just need to execute better and try and get back in this game?
Here's a run on first down that won't even get back to the line of scrimmage. He will lose a yard. Second and 11.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, there's nothing but room.
Oh, that'll be incomplete. He took a shot as he let that go, and it's going to bring up a third down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down.
60, Mike, 60, Mike, 60.
Now Carr. And now the ball's out. Carr lost it. Fumble. Offensively lucky there, able to keep the football, but now fourth down, so they'll have to boot it away.
I do think, though, they're going to look at this as a positive. One, they recovered the fumble, so they retained possession. But two, being able to punt it changes field position for them. Imagine if that turnover takes place there. Now your defense has to go onto the field and try and hold. Instead, they get a little breathing room.
On fourth down, A.J. Cole comes on to punt. Tariq Cohen is deep for the Bears. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. Fielded at the 33. There he goes, right side. Fighting his way through contact. And he almost made it, but just short. Finally out of bounds, right down around the goal line. He had his sights on the end zone, no doubt, but is brought down after a huge return there. And it's the best possible spot to begin a drive. First and goal at the 1-yard line. David Montgomery ready to take the field for the Bears' next possession. Whatever he was doing in September, they're hoping that that carries over now to October because he was sensational last month.
He absolutely was, and we all know where it started.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Bears. Jesper Horsted, his first touchdown on the year. And the Bears are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Boy, these guys are off to the races, Charles. 20-0 already, extra point pending.
Yeah, you always hear that term. They just boat race someone. Heck, it's car race, motorcycle race, plane race, whatever you want. Right now, they are sprinting.
And now, of course, all scoring plays are reviewed, and I think they're going to take an extra long look at this one. They're taking a peek at whether or not those feet were in bounds, and obviously a big call here in the end zone.
And not just the feet. How about the hands? How is the ball possessed while the feet are hopefully getting down in bounds? That's what they're trying to look at to see if it all comes together.
So they called it a touchdown originally, and this will stay a touchdown after the video review, so they had it right. Santos able to tack on the extra point, and it's now 21-0.
Raiders nothing. Cairo Santos to kick off for Chicago.
So how about this for a start? 21-0 here in the first as they kick this one away. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. The Raiders now set to get the football back. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have.
And he will not get away from the pressure here. Carr taken down.
That's 3 sacks now, and that's not much of a surprise to me, nor should it be to you. This team, they lead the league in sacks.
Yeah, they do. This is something that we are starting to witness time and time again. Back quite a ways here, facing 2nd and 19. This to Jacobs on the toss right. And he's able to get up here to the 26. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down.
Makes it 3rd and 9.
Now Carr. And this is going to be incomplete.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions to start this thing. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And the Bears take over. Another drive coming up for this Chicago offense. And the ledger for them so far looks pretty good, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Not sure it can be much better than that. They've got to feel very good about the groove that they're in.
Touchdown, Chicago! David Montgomery, his 2nd TD of the game and 16th on the season. And the Bears will add on to their lead. So there, Charles, I mean, a situation where it didn't matter how far he had to run, he was not going to be denied, and he winds up taking this all the way to the end zone.
And that's his 2nd touchdown run of this game, and this one add a high degree of difficulty to it as well. I'm absolutely marveling at how effortless he makes this look. I mean, let's face it, he had a long way to go. But how about the vision, the creativity with the football in his hands? It's really something to watch.
Oh, and now they're going to fake it. And he gets in. But no one was expecting a fake there, but they add 2 more onto their lead.
All right, partner, one more time. Our whole lives, you put the ball on the 3-yard line, kick the extra point. 2015, they put it on the 15 to kick the extra point. 2016, they said, we're leaving it there. So if you want to fake it, that's a long way to go. And they got it done.
I was going to say, they had a 15-yard play in their back pocket.
You don't see that on too many play sheets, do you?
No. And this will not be returned. It's a touchback, and they'll begin at the 25. And now Derek Carr, he is the focus of our player spotlight. And I guess the question, Charles, is what's the formula for keeping him better protected? Because as we see, the protection, it struggled.
And normally what you get is renewed determination. When the big guy gets hit, that usually sparks people. Hey, we can't let this happen anymore. They take it personally. He's not supposed to be on the ground, but that hasn't been the case so far in this game. So maybe they've got to figure out how do they get rid of the ball faster to help out the offensive line so he doesn't get hit as much.
And we'll see if they can keep him off the ground now going. All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. It's Desmond Trufant.
When a team's turned it over 3 times in the first half, we just look at the offense and say, guys, what are you doing? But instead, we really should be looking at the defense. They've created the takeaways. 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble. They played awfully well swarming to the ball here in the first half.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. On first down, Fields. And that is caught. It's Ridley. Touchdown, Bears. Riley Ridley, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Bears continue to pour it on. Now, first quarter, and this lead is already getting into dangerous territory. They better be careful on the other sideline.
Yeah, it feels a little bit more like a basketball game where one team is pressing and that team can't get the ball over half court. I mean, it's stealing it and scoring it, layups, the whole deal. That's what it feels like right now. They are all over them.
Santos with the extra point, and the lead will swell by 1 more.
Santos kicking off for Chicago.
Now, after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. The return man down to a knee, and this will come. To the 25-yard line. Las Vegas' offense back out there ready to go. And last time wasn't pretty. 1 play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. And now the ball's out. Carr lost it. Fumble.
A lot of bad news on that play for them, wasn't there? Lost the football, lost a lot of yardage, but I think the good news outweighs it. Able to retain possession. That was big for them.
They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. Here's the first carry for Kenyon Drake. Give him 6 on the run. It'll be 3rd down now with still a long way to go to get to the first down marker. Well, this defense for the Bears, they were terrific a week ago in that win over Detroit.
And one of the key things you always look for when you're evaluating a defense is how opportunistic are they? How many takeaways do they get per game? And how about last week's game? That number? 6. Absolutely phenomenal performance. They were on top of their game right from the first snap.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a 4th down. Well done.
And he's getting a workout here in this first quarter as he gets it away. Here comes Cohen, pushing his way through.
Another miss.
Still on his feet. Great blocking on the return. It springs him for 25. And it'll be a short field for the Bears as they take over 1st and 10. And this will probably be the last play of the quarter. Fields on 1st down. And this is caught. It's Jimmy Graham. Touchdown, Chicago. Jimmy Graham. touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Bears have taken a 6-touchdown lead.
For a big tight end, he can sure move like a slot receiver when he gets a head of steam going. And as a defensive back, you've got a big decision to make when he's moving like that.
Santos able to tack on the extra point. An entertaining start to this one. More to come on EA Sports. The Bears with the football. We get set to begin quarter number 2. Santos out now. He'll kick it away. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. Now the Vegas offense heading back out there. And still no points on the scoreboard. You're coming off of the 3 and out. They're just looking for anything to grab onto right now, aren't they?
I'm wondering if someone's going to take charge in the huddle. You know, we always look to the quarterback, but sometimes it's another player on the team, a star, a veteran, someone with some excitement and energy. It's like, all right, guys, let's shake things up and let's go, because they still have an opportunity to make things happen.
Shake it off. On 2nd and 7, Carr. And his throw is incomplete.
That's now 6 dropbacks, 6 incompletions. Yeah, the defense has been pretty good early, but he's got to start hitting some of those throws. He's making them better than what they actually are.
He's going deep for Brown. Well, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. The passing game not in sync here early, and now it's 4th down. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. On the return is Cohen. It's a 49-yard punt, but subtract 9 there for the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. David Montgomery ready to take the field for the Bears' next possession. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the 2nd quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated, because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here. On 1st down, it's Fields. And this is taken in by Darnell Mooney.
Always a pleasure.
Touchdown! Darnell Mooney with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Bears are able to widen their lead here in this first half. And CD, we have seen some great runs the last few times we've been together, but I think we can at least put this one in our top 5. That was a determined gallop there.
Yeah, and this is one of the best runs you'll see. A lot of times on these long touchdowns, you'll see he gets into the end zone untouched, but not here. He fought his way through contact, and it barely even registered, and he just continued down the field all the way to the end zone.
And you can see the distance traveled there after the initial contact on the next-gen stats.
Santos to kick off for Chicago.
Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. John Brown now heading back onto the field as he gets set to go here. Looking down at the stats here, realizing he has no catches. They've targeted him twice, but no catches. So how do they get him more involved, Charles?
You make sure he touches it on routes that he likes to run, maybe even run a reverse or some type of a jet sweep so he gets his hands on the ball and get him active and involved in the game. You just try and find ways to get him going, and it doesn't have to be something that's big downfield.
Maybe kind of like in basketball, just a shooter seeing the ball go through you, get him a rep, get him more comfortable.
I agree with that totally. Maybe set that solid screen and give him an easy look.
Well, to this point, no catches. A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
Trying to get that one to his tight end, and they've been trying to get the ball to him, but as of yet, unable to successfully complete one. But you know there's usually a nice comfort zone and throw into the tight end. Great sight lines, usually right in the middle of the field.
Got his connection complete to Ruggs. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. Well, your QB's been sacked 4 times in the game already, and they're the holding call.
And you know darn well the offensive line coach is frustrated and upset that he's been hit that many times already.
Now the pressure comes, and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. Khalil Mack racking up sack number 12 for him on the year. Just not much a quarterback can do there, CD. The pressure was in his face almost instantaneously, led to a very quick sack.
And this came from the edge, and those pass rushers, they have so many tricks of the trade to get around blockers. They have a lot of tools in their kit. This was pure speed and athleticism on this play, though, and they could barely get a glove on him before he got the quarterback on the ground.
And it's fielded at the 34. And still fighting. He's still barreling through. And he'll go out of bounds finally at the 7. Well, that looked for a second like he might take it all the way, but as it stands, it's still a massive return. And this offense, they've got it set up on the silver platter. 1st and goal inside the 10. They'll run with Montgomery. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. David Montgomery on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Bears add on. This is becoming quite the half he's had here.
Remember in our pregame meetings, they talked about wanting to run the football and staying with it? Well, when you're scoring this many touchdowns, there's no reason to go away from it, is there? They are off to a fantastic start. They hope it continues.
3. Oh, and now they're going to fake it. It's caught inside the 5. And, boy, talk about adding insult to injury. He's into the end zone to tack on 2 more. And that's something you almost never see nowadays. When you fake it, you're at the 15-yard line on a PAT as opposed to just going for it from the 2.
I'm sorry. I know they got it, and congratulations to them, but it's just not a good play. I mean, the risk-reward is really off the charts, not in your favor. Run your offense out there. Put it on the 2-yard line if you want to go for 2. But I'll be darned. They ended up getting that one, didn't they?
The Raiders offense ready to go. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Throwing on 1st down is Carr. He'll let this go deep for Ruggs. And incomplete on the deep ball.
Early on, the running game's been working well, and the offensive line has been pleased by that. The thought process there, catch those safeties creeping up, trying to help against the running game. They tried to hit them over the top, unsuccessfully.
On 2nd down, Jacobs. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39.
Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who can do more than one thing. And I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice play defensively. Heck of a play there to get to him quickly and get him down for a loss.
I think they did a really nice job getting ready for this game, scouting, watching film, and understanding defensively what the play design was.
Here's A.J. Cole now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. He's going to field this at the 4. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And it'll be 1st and 10 Bears from deep in their own territory. David Montgomery ready to take the field for the Bears' next possession. He's been good. His guys are winning. So far, the recipe working here in the 2nd quarter.
He doesn't like to just tote the rock. He wants to carry his team on his back, and that's what he's done throughout this game.
Yeah, he's done that. He'll be hoping to continue that trend. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. There's a ball thrown right side and complete. And mark him down way up close to the 40 at the 39. 27 yards there, a 1st down. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
Let's go. We got this. We got this.
Coming up at halftime, I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL. He and Jonathan Coachman both larger than life.
No doubt about it.
But you're stuck with me in this booth,
yes,
and he's miles away and smiling.
And happy.
Gonna let one fly for Robinson, and this will be caught at the 30.
I'm only going to be able to carry it so far.
Touchdown, Chicago! Allen Robinson. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Bears continue to pour it on. He put quite a bit of air underneath that touchdown pass. Of course, we knew that he had the strong arm.
That part was easy. You could see that throughout his college career. But what you want to know about a rookie is when the pressure's on, can you throw with touch? He just did right there. And, boy, it was pretty.
Oh, and now they're going to fake it. And would you believe it? This is caught in the end zone. And the fake extra point works to extend their lead by 2.
Cairo Santos to kick off for Chicago.
Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback.
Let's go.
Time again to see Josh Jacobs and this Vegas offense operate. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're... Losing here in the second quarter, what might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the...
And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off at the 30. And he's going to return it to the 21-yard line. Boy, he had to fit that into a pretty tight window over the middle. And, Charles, I think they were in zone defensively, weren't they?
They certainly were. Nice read on your part. And sometimes the quarterback isn't fooled between zone and man. Sometimes just fooled by the type of zone that he sees. Because
and he's got his man. That's Robinson. Touchdown, Bears. Allen Robinson on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Bears add on. There was a lot of zip on that pass, and baseball might have called that a frozen rope.
I like it when you bring the diamond.
Oh, and now they're going to fake it. And that is knocked away in the middle of the field and incomplete.
I have to admit, I'm scratching my head a little bit here trying to make sense of what I just saw. Number 1, huge lead. Just kick the extra point and be done with it. Number 2, if you are going to go for 2, just line up and go for it from the 2-yard line. Why make it so difficult? That's a long way to go to try and pick up some points.
And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25. The Vegas offense ready for their next possession. And last time, 1 play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling. Because a 1-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, you get a little confidence in him, and let him fling another one.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. He's going deep for Brown. And he's got it. What a catch on the sideline. And that last throw, CD, going to move him even further up that all-time passing leaderboard as he just moved beyond Broadway Joe Namath at 27,663 yards.
And that's impressive because Joe Namath, my goodness, he could throw a football. I mean, it was just gorgeous the way he threw it. Rallied his Jets to a Super Bowl win, one of the greatest upsets in NFL history. Broadway Joe, the man.
The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Throwing again on second down. Carr. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this is picked up by the Bears. He's at the 50. He's at the 30. The 20. 10,
we got plenty of
5,
fight, baby.
And they bring this one back. A fumble return for a Bears touchdown. This first half has been a nightmare for that offense. Defense just dominating them.
And when you're picking up the ball, picking up their mistakes, and taking it the other way and putting it in the end zone, that's a defense's dream. They're having that type of a game.
Everything that can go wrong has gone wrong for this offensive unit. Now the point after try for Santos. And the route is on here in this first half. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way, the fumble return for a touchdown. And you can bet they're preaching two hands on the ball here as the kicks away following that fumble return. And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback.
Let's go.
John Brown now heading back onto the field as he gets set to go here. He's been good so far to this point in the second quarter. Need to get him even more involved, maybe?
I would agree with that. Definitely. Yeah, it's not even a question for me. The way he's playing, he's doing a nice job. Increase things. More touches, more opportunities. Maybe that can reverse things on the scoreboard for them.
They'll try to ratchet things up then maybe here in the second quarter. Looking to throw again on second down. Carr. And his throw here's incomplete.
It certainly didn't appear that that's where he wanted to go with the ball initially, so he tried to get something out of it by dumping it off to his running back unsuccessfully.
And the throw there going to be incomplete.
I think you put just a little bit too much heat on that one. When you throw it to the outside, you do have to be careful because you got to keep it away from the defender, but you also have to give your own guy a chance too.
Here's A.J. Cole now. He's been terrific so far. Taking it about the 16. A good head-down running on the return. Gets about 15 yards. And control of the football, switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. And the Bears going to get one more possession in this first half. And with a huge lead already, they may be thinking, hey, our job's complete for these first two quarters. Let's get this to the locker room. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And now off to the races down the right side. And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown. David Montgomery in the final seconds of the first half. And the Bears will extend their lead here just before halftime. You talk about the dominating rushing performances that you and I have seen together. This has got to be right up there. His fourth touchdown run of the game and another long one to boot.
And I don't need to ask for a witness because you're right here with me. We are watching this, and we're watching such a performance that is demoralizing for anyone on defense. You know, it starts out coaches screaming, tackle him, get him. And after that last touchdown, I bet it's pure silence on that side of the ball.
Maybe time for one play on offense. 7 seconds to go in the half as the kick is away. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And with 7 seconds remaining, not much time to really do anything. A nice run on first down gets him 6 yards to the 31. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. The final shot here before half for Carr. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you guys in a bit. But first, let's take a look around the NFL here on this first Sunday of October. We'll begin up at U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, where it was the Vikings who were able to get the victory at home. Kirk Cousins leading the way in the victory with 3 touchdown passes. From there, we're off to check out another game. And they've gone to the half in that ball game with the visiting Browns out on top. Baker Mayfield with a touchdown pass. Lastly, let's head to Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati. See what's happening with the Bengals. And they were losers in that one to the visiting Green Bay Packers. Devontae Adams, well over 100 yards receiving with 3 touchdown catches. Moving on, let's take a look at the next-gen stats in that first half for the Bears. And our statistician may need a vacation after this one's said and done. What a first half they had throwing the football. Over 300 yards passing already. Meanwhile, for the Raiders, they were on the other end of the spectrum in terms of passing efficiency. That's going to need to improve in the second half to come. Final adjustments being made for the second half. Whether they'll amount to much in a game that's already pretty well decided, well, that's another question. Nevertheless, let's get you back out to Brandon and Charles.
Okay, Coach, thanks. Yeah, that's something to consider. Are we in for more one-way traffic here in the second half? It has not been a competitive game to this point. Pass midfield. Still going.
You gotta love it, baby. Give me some
and
more.
He will score. And you've used the phrase with me before, pressing the kicking game. What exactly does that mean? Because they did it there.
It means focusing on it, all aspects of it, because it's the third part of the game. Offense, defense, special teams. If you press the kicking game, create an advantage, make a big play, it often leads to victory.
Santos with the extra point, and that will extend this big lead. And no doubt one of the most, if not the most exciting play we'll see in this game. The kick return all the way to the end zone for 6 points. So now the other return teams out there as they'll try to duplicate what they just saw. And we will not see an attempt to match that return touchdown, as this will be a touchback and bring it out to the 25. The Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. Throwing his car on 3rd down. And that is incomplete. He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been any. This defense has been all over them.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against them.
And nice work on the return as he gets about 15 yards back. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. So here are the Bears to take over on offense. Last week, good result. They were able to beat the Detroit Lions, and now they are on the good side of the scoreboard, right? Allen Robinson, kiss him goodbye. Touchdown, Bears. Allen Robinson. 63 yards, and the Bears continue to pour it on. And let's count them up now. 1, 2, 3, 4 touchdown receptions for him in this game.
And just one shy of the NFL record. What a great performance. Going up and catching the football, creating space, and finding the end zone. That's what it's all about.
Santos able to tack on the extra point, and the lead will swell by 1 more.
Santos to kick off for Chicago.
Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt to return. Time again to see Josh Jacobs and this Vegas offense operate. So after that hot start, the numbers here show the decline. What has the defense done adjustment-wise?
Sometimes when you have a running back who's getting off to a hot start, you've got to catch him before he really gets...
And he will not get away from the pressure here. Carr taken down. Robert Quinn, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. A lot of ground to cover. 2nd and 22.
You can't block me. 58 is the money.
Another try after the first down sack. Carr in trouble, and the ball's out. It's in the end zone loose. And what else could go wrong at this point? This is going to be a defensive touchdown as they keep piling it on. Once that ball was loose, the question was, would this be 2 or would it be 6? It's 6. The defense able to pounce on it.
And for the offense, the training didn't really kick in, did it? Once that ball comes loose, you got to get on it, make sure that you recover it, or make sure you punch it out of the end zone. Anything but give it to the defense to score a touchdown.
So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25. Now comes the Chicago defense getting ready for the next possession. And they had the fumble return for a touchdown, and boom, they're right back out there again.
And you hear so many people talk about opportunistic defenses in today's football. Well, they make the...
And now the ball's out. Carr lost it. Fumble. And this is picked up by the Bears. And they bring this one back. A fumble return for a Bears touchdown. So the big fella gets on the scoreboard with a return for a touchdown. Good thing he didn't have to go too far, though.
You know the trainers were very happy about that. Imagine having to go get him in the end zone, escort him to the bench, and give him the oxygen. They were loving the fact that he got in without having to run very far.
Santos with the extra point, and that will extend this big lead.
Santos kicking off for Chicago.
And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kicks away following that fumble return. And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25. The Raiders offense now making their way back out onto the field. And they weren't on the sidelines for long, but I'll tell you what, I'm glad you and I weren't down there. We could hear them, the coaches from all the way up here. They were adamant, you've got to hold on to the football or else we have no hope.
Yeah, it's easy for me to laugh sitting up here, but you're exactly right. If we were down there, that message would have been received a whole different way. Because turnovers, they've been a big problem for them. Got to take care of the football. Got to hold on to it.
Once again, it's Jacobs. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now third down coming up.
You've got to figure the further they fall behind, the more you think that they'll get away from the run. They're trying to stick with it, but the results, they just aren't there.
From the gun now on third down, Carr. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And I think the Bears have recovered. They have. The defense, they were swarming that time and ultimately got to him before he could get rid of the football and knocked it free.
And don't you feel just a little bit of sympathy for him back there, though? So much going on, so much swirling around. He's trying to find someone downfield. He's trying to move around to find an open target. Sometimes you forget the number one thing, take care of the football.
A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Brings up 2nd and 3.
Again, it's Williams. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. Damian Williams, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Bears use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6.
The touchdown was scored by the runner, but the offensive line, they feel like it's theirs. They blocked that one up perfectly, allowed him easy access to the end zone.
Santos able to tack on the extra point, and the lead will swell by 1 more. They had the short field, and they made quick work of it. Just 2 plays to get into the end zone. Now, after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line. The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about empty.
And he will not get away from the pressure here. Carr taken down. Eddie Goldman able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And not a whole lot to speak of there as they'll bring him down shy of the 20. And they only get a yard back there. They'll be left with a 3rd down and long. Carr going to throw. Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. Here's A.J. Cole now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. That's pulled in at the 32. So a change of possession here on the punt. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. Now a 1st down throw, Fields. And he finds his tight end, Graham. His 2nd catch, this one not quite as dynamic as his first, and it's 2nd down. Well, you know, this club, there were some reports earlier in the week, and most have heard this by now, the so-called unnamed sources that were saying all is not rosy in that locker room. There's whispers that 1 or 2 guys, CD, have kind of had enough of how things are going and have been going. How would you handle that as a coach?
Well, you and I both know all the coaches that we've dealt with and come in contact with. They'd love to get their hands on those unnamed sources, wouldn't they? But they know that that's not possible, so I think they've got to go in there and make sure that this isn't a distraction. They also know that once the grumbling starts...
Oh, and now some space to operate. And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown. David Montgomery, 37 yards. And the Bears get another 3rd quarter touchdown to add on to that lead. Well, he was already over 100 yards running the football prior to this play, but this run may be his best yet.
I've got to agree with you on that one. We're looking at a guy running with extreme confidence, running in harmony and sync with his blockers. All of them kind of moving as one. And look at the end result. Big plays.
Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. They are right now just ice cold. I mean, they have struggled big time in this game, and they're getting blown out. How do they adjust?
So tough because we always talk about it being a team game and you need all 11 working well together. But every now and then, partner, you need that one guy who could make a play against all odds that maybe can ignite.
And now the ball's out. Carr lost it. Fumble. And this is picked up by the Bears. And a 1st and goal coming up here inside the 10-yard line. We know he's got the speed to get downfield, Charles, but there's the negative side. A little loose with the football that time.
And that's normal, especially when you have his...
That is hauled in by Jimmy Graham. Touchdown, Bears. Jimmy Graham, a beast in the red zone with his 2nd touchdown of the game. And the Bears use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. Santos with the extra point, and that will extend this big lead.
Santos to kick off for Chicago.
Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And this will not be returned. It's a touchback, and they'll begin at the 25. The Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Big word. I like it, though, because you're exactly right. All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. Is that word again, symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis, symptomatic of the success of this broadcast.
What I like is that you gave me the word, and I just kept using it.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we played 3 quarters. Here's Carr. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Here's A.J. Cole now as he's on to punt for Vegas. This is taken at about the 14. 54-yard punt, 14 on the return, nets him 40. And the Bears take over. Back out onto the field comes Allen Robinson. Seems like the measuring stick for a receiver for a great game is 100 yards. Well, he's well past that now.
And as we analyze how he's getting them, that's where it really becomes fun because, let's face it, they keep sending coverage at him, keep trying to put the pressure on, yet he finds ways downfield and finds openings. That's a really crafty receiver.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Fields. That's complete to Mooney. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. Touchdown. Darnell Mooney. His second touchdown of the game and his 9th on the year. And the Bears are closing in on a 4-1 start as they extend their fourth quarter lead. They seemingly just continue to score at will, and as great as it's been for the offense, you got to feel for that defense down there.
I love how you use the word will, because both teams came into the game with the will to win, but one team has obviously imposed its will on the other and broken them. Because what we're seeing right now, wow, that's a defense that's in tatters after what they faced in this ball game.
The return man down to a knee, and this will come out to the 25-yard line. The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive. We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has been how this ball... And now the ball's out. Carr lost it. Fumble. But I think the Raiders are going to be able to hold on to it. Yes. Dangerous spot for them to cough it up. Lucky to have recovered because had the defense gotten it, they were already within a shadow of the goalpost.
Yeah, and you're yelling at your own defense. Sudden change, sudden change. That's not what you want to hear on your sideline. That means you got to run out there and try and stop an offense who has the ball in a very advantageous position.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Working from the gun, it's Carr. And that is incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
Here's A.J. Cole now as he's on to punt for Las Vegas. Here comes Cohen. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And it'll be a short field for the Bears as they take over 1st and 10. Now Allen Robinson and company gearing up to go again on offense. What a game for him, Charles. 4 touchdowns. Heck, for a lot of guys, that's a good season number.
You're exactly right. And let's face it, we have to stand up and applaud this one, even though we're supposed to be neutral, because this doesn't just happen by accident. This isn't 4 times where the defense just falls down or breaks coverage. He's worked awfully hard, changing routes, changing areas, changing angles, and getting open for touchdowns.
We knew he'd be part of the game plan in a big way, and it has been in a very big way. There's Mooney with another catch. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. It'll go as an impressive 31-yard gain. Boy, another big play late here for an offense, Charles, that certainly has had its fair share of big plays.
Coverage has been a...
Yeah, he's got Mooney in the end zone. Touchdown, Chicago. 2 yards on the touchdown there. And the Bears are looking to make it 2 straight as they add on to this fourth quarter lead. He has really settled in throwing the football, and that touchdown here in the fourth quarter gives him a pretty comfortable cushion.
He may be a rookie, but he's playing like fourth quarter, and the QBing is easy. How about this guy? Youngster, not worried about anything, just cutting it loose and having fun.
Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. Here's Las Vegas ready to take the field. Well, I think that the folks here had hoped that maybe this home atmosphere would carry their guys to a surprise victory, but it does not appear that that's going to be the case. There's too much to handle on the other side in this one. Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Shotgun now for Carr. And he will not get away from the pressure here. Carr taken down. Khalil Mack, what a season he continues to have. His 15th sack of the campaign. 2nd and 21, a lot of ground to cover. Another try after the first down sack. Carr in trouble, and the ball's out, and he can't get away. Carr is going to go down, and that is a safety. Things are just going from bad to worse now. It's a safety that does him in here, and that is one frustrated offensive unit.
They can't get out from under their own shadow right now. I mean, I know this is the NFL, but could you imagine a college crowd right now? Imagine what they'd be doing. They'd be chanting, "Start the bus," because they think this one is over.
Back out onto the field comes Allen Robinson. All right, how has he done it? 4 touchdowns in this contest. He's been around the end zone in particular, pretty much uncoverable.
And you know that I typically take things from a defensive perspective. I'm not going to do that this time. Let's just praise him. My goodness, 4 receiving touchdowns means he's been a variety of coverages throughout this game because they're not just letting him run scot-free. They're trying their best to shut him down, and he's shredding them.
I got to be honest, I want to see 5. No, you want to see 5? I mean, we're not supposed to be biased, but
we're not rooting. Just in the interest of the game, let's go ahead and see 5.
It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1. Well, this is a new concept. It's 3rd down, but they've got the punt unit on. And oh, we've seen it all now. It's a fake. And he will not get the first, but since they bizarrely went for it on 3rd down, it'll now set up a 4th down situation. Matt Nagy has made the decision. They're going to go for it here. They snap it to Fields. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Bears tried it on 4th down, unable to convert. And the Raider D, they get the football back. So we were looking at each other up here in the booth when they went for that saying, oh, wow, talk about trying to add insult to injury.
Some teams are just like that. You know, some philosophies, some coaches are like, look, when I got a chance to put some more points on the board, I don't care what the situation, I'm going to do it. And they're also the same coaches as a general rule that if someone does it to them, you won't hear people protest out of them. That's just who they are.
And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. So it's Raider football as we get you reset. They face a 3rd down now as they try to find a late score. It's caught left side by John Brown. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. And he gets it down a yard or 2 shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
Gain of 5 brings up 2nd and 5.
Throwing now is Carr. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by the former first-rounder Artie Burns. And he'll bring it all the way back just a yard or 2 shy of midfield. Yet another mistake after the interception there. And gosh, you look up at the scoreboard, they just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can't. And also what happens when you get this big of a deficit, you're supposed to make all the right throws, right? You're supposed to try and obviously get the ball to your own guys. But being down this big, you also take even more chances. And in this situation, that hasn't paid off for them at all.
On the other sideline, jubilation and laughter. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. 4th quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete. Good coverage there by Trey. Oh, he didn't spike it. He faked it. Nowhere for Fields to turn, and down he goes. Corey Littleton drops him for a 4-yard loss there, and that brings up 4th down. Here's Pat O'Donnell now. Always a good sign when your first punt comes in the 4th quarter. And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin them back. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. One final try now for Carr. Got a man open. It's Darren Waller. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. So this one in the win column for the Chicago Bears. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for.